Hey, you're watching America's #1 cure for insomnia, the Diving Cutter Wrestling Podcast. I'm Mark Rodriguez here. With me are
William White, aka Ninja Panda 1980, back again at last.
Jack Knives from Jack Knives Reviews.
It's Jupi Chan, also known as, you can call me Wendy or Ninja Jupi or whatever. And I'm going to turn this over to the one, the only, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man with the cool Megan shirt, Johnny Rodriguez.
Johnny Rodriguez.
Yep, there we go, guys. So now we're gonna be doing something a little different here because we already do it with other companies that's not either Ring of Honor or AEW. Today we're actually talking about a WWE pay-per-view, or like they call them nowadays. What is it? Paid live events. And we're gonna be going over
Pay-per-view.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about the 2026 Royal Rumble. And I do want to say that I don't really want to keep track of all the WWE pay-per-views. I'll only cover them if AJ Lee is a big factor, or the original four classics, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, the Royal Rumble, and SummerSlam. And the original four. And like I said, because So anyways, we're gonna go into it. We did skip the pre-show, and of course, before we go into the matches, let's talk about some of the wrestling news here and there. Two things I want to say real quick before Jack goes into more detail is that Andrade Idolo surprisingly is back in AEW, and I believe it was pretty quick. Like, it wasn't that long that he left WWE or was released or whatever. So I was surprised he was there, and of course he's part of the Don Callis family. And now, which makes it funnier, is that there's like these OnlyFans girls in the crowd. They're always like, all over him and acting like they want to slide into his DMs and stuff.
And then one time she took out her little napkin and kissed it and gave it to him, and he put it in his pocket. And I'm just saying, Andrade is just really, really good looking in general. So I don't.
Yeah, it's like, if you've seen Charlotte, which is almost unrecognizable by now, so yeah, you're kind of better off with the OnlyFans girls and that thing. And the other,
well, me and Andrade.
You got your Andrade right here. Shut up.
Well, yeah.
So anyways, we got whatever. Anyways, we got the other news that Cora Jade is officially back in the ring. She actually joined TNA, and by now she's already had maybe 2 or so matches. So it's cool because I know what people say. You can do it all your life and all that stuff. We can't judge on that stuff, but I've always been a fan of her actual in-ring skill, her overall persona, and everything. I'm happy that she's actually back as Elena Black. So that's always awesome. She dumped the whole skater gimmick thing because Vince with the "I don't get it" kind of thing. So I'm glad that Elena Black is back.
He didn't get Scarface either, but yeah.
Yeah. And all that stuff. So it's cool to see her back in the ring. Like I said, she could do what she wants in her life, but I would have been kind of disappointed if she just kind of just did the OnlyFans thing and just that's it and just kind of lived off of that. It is cool to see her back in the ring. Priscilla Kelly's back in the Indies, and she has merch now in Pro Wrestling Tees, so check that out. Of course, she's been in our 3rd episode where we got lucky enough to interview her back in the day before she joined WWE, so that's pretty cool and all that. So anyways, leave it to Jack with more news in the broader scope of the world of wrestling. Oh, the last thing I want to say, Abaddon is back. Abaddon has appeared in some Ring of Honor matches, so it's kind of cool. Kind of good to see her back in the ring.
They let her out of the box.
Yeah, this time not like just for Halloween or whatever. So that's cool. I'm sure William, when I saw that, I was thinking, William should be happy.
I like
that.
So,
I'm definitely happy about that.
Yeah,
one.
the Zombie is back.
I like her.
So to coincide with leaving off on Ring of Honor, the forever champion of Ring of Honor herself, Athena, has actually out-challenged Shuri, the IWGP Women's World Champion, for New Beginning in New Beginning USA in New Jersey at the end of this month. So there's going to be the IWGP champion Shuri versus Athena, which is going to be a banger match. Moving over to TNA, there's going to also be, since you mentioned TNA, not only did Elena Black show up, but the new partial interim TNA commissioner, along with Santino Marella, is the former I forgot her name. Oh God, I just forgot her name.
Knockouts champion or
No. She was sorry, I just spaced on what her name was. Sonya Deville, formerly Sonya Deville, and now going as Daria Gray. She is the interim general manager with Santino Marella of TNA, and she was the one who brought in Elena Black. So she's kind of doing this whole evil. She's calling herself the Suit, and she's got this big power suit thing, and she's all evil. And I kind of like that for her. Unfortunately, on some more sad news, they had a recently Feast or Fired match, which concluded with Trey Miguel getting an TNA international title shot, Eddie Edwards of the new members of the system getting a world title match, Eric Young getting an X Division title match, and unfortunately, Steve Macklin, no longer bulletproof, gone from TNA. Sad to say. Macklin is no longer in TNA. And let's see what else is happening.
The
moving
Rascals.
over to yes, the Rascals. So the Rascals have signed with AEW. However, when they originally signed, their contracts had at least a year plus left on their contracts. Tony Khan allegedly bought out their contracts, but he did not buy all of their contracts, as Trey Miguel, who did not want to leave TNA, decided to stay in TNA. Much to a lot of speculation, people thought, oh, well, AEW fired him due to some old tweets and yada, yada, yada. That wasn't the case, because what had happened was when AEW did the graphic of the Rascals, instead of just saying the logo, they had all 4 members of the Rascals, not the 3 other members that they had bought. So it was basically just a misunderstanding. People misinterpreted it. And this weekend is an extremely important thing where the people are going to be divided between teams. That's right. The Stardom match of the century. Starlight Kid versus Saya Kamitani for the World of Stardom Championship. And there's nothing else sports related happening this weekend.
Nothing important anyway. Nothing important anyway. So you guys are gonna go into the
Oh wait, actually no, hang on. There was one last little thing since you brought up Andrade. So Andrade is also going to be fighting Gabe Kidd for an opportunity at the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship that is currently held by the IWGP Heavyweight Champion Yota Tsuji. So that's it's basically a grudge match between the two. The winner will get a shot at the top champ, and who's to say he couldn't get an opportunity also at the IWGP Heavyweight Championship? Because as of right now, Yota Tsuji is holding both belts separately, and they are recognizing them, so they're not going to unify them. So, so there's that match coming up around the pipe too.
All right, so just real quick shout out here. I'm not sure when this is going to be up and everything, and in terms of the video, but on I don't see a date on this. Do I get? Oh, yeah, thank you. February 7th for all the small indie wrestling people there in Mayfield, Pennsylvania. We got High Ground Pro Wrestling 3-year anniversary Redemption 3, and the United States Championship title is up for grabs. The champion is Damon Dante, and the challenger is our very own Ricky Rocks. And for a bit of backstory, Ricky Rocks was the U.S. champion. He recently dropped the title to Damon Dante, so now it's time for the payback. Let's see if we can get the title back and see what happens there. So if you guys are in the Mayfield, Pennsylvania area, February 7th, get a bit of 7 p.m. Check out the title there as Ricky Rocks challenges Damon Dante for the U.S. Championship. Let's see if he gets it back. Oh, yeah. So anyways, let's start the Royal Rumble. Once again, we kind of sort of missed and didn't really care much about the pre-show. We do know that the Motor City Machine Guns were in the match. We had the Wyatt Six in the match. But let's go to the actual event here.
So Brock Lesnar got mad and was fussing, and I forgot about what now. Oh yeah, about the Rumble order and stuff. And the other thing I do have a problem with was this entire pay-per-view. PLE, don't give a crap. I'm calling it pay-per-view. I'm old school. Big E, man. I have a problem with Big E. I feel sorry for Big E, because he can't wrestle anymore and he got hurt so bad, It's just a crime that we had to see him wearing a shirt the whole time. I mean, come on now. He looks nice without a shirt. See him without a shirt.
Okay, let's get to the point. So anyway, yes. So the first thing to start is
Cut me off with Andrade. Now you cut me out with Biggie.
yes. So now it's the first event here of the actual show is the 30-woman battle. The 30-woman Royal Rumble match, where of course whoever wins this gets to choose which champion they're gonna go after at WrestleMania. So let's start off with the notes here. We got lots of wrestlers, lots of people that we missed out on. We haven't seen wrestling in a while, and some of them even got different names. So let's see.
So the first one to come out, I think, was Charlotte. Well, she was first, right?
Yeah, Charlotte came out first, and
Yep.
then Alexa Bliss. And
Who
it
are
was
their
kind of a
tag
thing
team
because
partners.
they're tag team partners, so it's gonna happen.
Mhm.
And I was kind of joking about this with Wendy. I was saying if I was doing this, I would probably like we're partners, like legit partners with no blood between us or whatever. We would just chill until the first opponent, the third opponent comes in and fights. And that's what they did. They did a couple little fake outs. They were pretending like Alexa was pretending to do like the Sister Abigail, but she stopped. And Charlotte was acting like she was gonna do the figure four, but she stopped and all that stuff. And then they both just kind of chilled and just waited to see until the third opponent would come in.
So like I said, quite a few things happened here during the whole thing. I was kind of interested in Ivy Nile because, like I said, I didn't really know her. So she was, and I was wondering if you guys could like give maybe a little backstory or like, does she have a connection to Kurt Angle?
No, she's a part of American Made, which is basically Chad Gable's faction he made after Alpha Academy. But Chad Gable got injured, and then he was mysteriously, when Chad Gable wasn't around, El Grande Americano would show up, and he would get opportunities that Chad Gable was supposed to get. So yeah, it was just kind of weird how things worked out. And then Chad Gable's been gone, and then a different El Grande Americano who suddenly grew a foot taller, he took his place. But yeah, Ivy Nile was a part of the group with Chad Gable and the Creed brothers known as American Alpha. But recently she's been feuding with, she's been trying to go after Maxine Dupree. And, well, she was going after Maxine Dupree when she was the Intercontinental Champion, but now Becky's the champion. So she's kind of like in that mix, but she hasn't been wrestling as much recently. She wrestled more last year than she did this year.
One quick thing, Jack. Has AJ Lee done anything since her return match against, Becky and Seth and all that?
Yeah, she was at the War. She was in the War Games match. That was the last match she was in. I know currently AJ is doing because they're letting her do part-time work because she's doing stuff with like doing different comic book conventions and stuff. So I know she's doing that. But yeah, I was surprised she wasn't in this Rumble.
Yeah.
She was one of the ones I was kind of expecting to be in this Rumble along with another person later, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm trying to think of any other real highlights. So the first two that first two eliminated was Candice LeRae and Lola. They were the first two ones eliminated out of the Rumble.
Lola is so good. She's extremely talented. Like definitely a future world champion. I could say that much. I don't know if Will agrees with me on that, but I think Lola's a future world champion.
Oh no, I really do agree. It's kind of a shame that she was actually pulled out of the Rumble as early as she was. It was ridiculous. She was the first one out, but
yeah, there's a lot of women that came from NXT that are just killing it over there. I don't like. Damn, you girls are one up in the main roster.
I kind of figured that the fact that they filled out the roster with NXT talent, so okay, this was probably there just more like exhibitionist type situation because they're going to get eliminated because they're not on the main roster, because they're going to have some kind of surprise when they're going to move them up,
Yeah.
So later on, Nia Jax shows up. Charlotte eliminated Nia and Alexa at the same time. So, of course, there's probably going to be some bad blood between Alexa and Charlotte after that. Let's see. Oh,
Roxanne Perez came out dressed up like She-Go from Kim Possible.
Mm-hmm.
She was number 11.
Yeah, I love that. I was like, oh, cool.
Then we have speaking of Maxine Dupree, since we're just talking about her, she ended up eliminating Becky, and then tried to eliminate Natty or Natalia. I can't help. I still say Natalia, who then reversed it and eliminated Becky.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty cool. Let's
Yeah.
see. Anything? Okay, y'all can jump in anytime.
Yep. Rhea Ripley showed up, and I don't know if that's a regular. Oh, that's another thing too, because they were fighting in Saudi Arabia or whatever. So all the women were dressed up in full body outfits and things. And to be honest, I like all the designs. They were pretty cool. I like how they went all in and had as imaginative outfits as they can. Rhea Ripley was there, and I really don't know if she was dressed up as Edward Scissorhands on purpose or not, but she looked like Edward Scissorhands. And it was kind of confusing because there was at least two others. I think they were all like wearing all black outfits too. So sometimes, when it zoomed down, people are over the place. It's kind of hard to keep track of who's who.
Yeah, it was weird. They made, obviously with Saudi Arabia, they're super duper strict on outfits, especially with women. What was throwing me off was, the color schemes. It seemed like they had a limited palette on the color schemes, so I was like, okay, I have to pay attention to their hair. Like, that's how I know who's who. I was like, oh wow. But I will say, on a random side note, recently Nia did an interview, and she actually lost 100 pounds, which I was like, she said right now she's at the weight when she first started in NXT. I'm like, wow, that's really an accomplishment for her. But it's just kind of crazy. Like, I'm like looking at some of the women. Me and Will were even talking about this. It's nothing against them having to wear jumpsuits as much as some of them, I don't know. It's like not everyone could pull off the full body suit. And the problem is that the women had to wear them.
Mhm.
And so it just kind of threw me off a lot. With some of them, I'm like, like Io wearing it, Rhea, they're used to that stuff. But like seeing like for instance, like Maxine Dupree. Like her whole thing, she does this thing, which is like a Chad Gable tribute to Kurt Angle, where she pulls down the straps.
Yeah.
But then she's wearing a full suit, and she pulls down the straps that go to nothing. And I'm like, what? Why? Why are they even there? It's basically like the equivalent of like, it would be like if, Mark, if you took off a hat and then you had another hat under the hat. And it's like, why did you even do that? What's the point of having the hat?
That's kind of annoying.
It's like it's just kind of random, but I know Nia did okay. I think Lash came in like right after she got eliminated. I'm like, oh, that's lame. I kind of wanted to see them like work together because they're a tag team, but I'm like, oh, okay, because it seems like they're focusing a lot more on the women's tag division than the singles division right now, which is kind of odd for me because I'm used to them. Especially with the Rumble, more focused on the singles matches. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I was just like, kind of like, oh, okay. Seems like they're kind of focusing a little more on the tag division, but okay.
Yeah, and you're right. The costumes did kind of make it kind of confusing.
Yeah, it did.
Because there were like times where, Liv would be doing something, and then Rhea Ripley would be doing something, and we're both wearing these black, like, vinyl style clothing. And it's just like, well, wait a minute. How did Ripley get out of that corner? She's over, but then she's over. I had to just like, I had to keep paying attention to the hair to see who was who. Rhea Ripley, which by the way, it wasn't Edward Scissorhands. It was more closer to the Crow. As her design was.
Because I was noticing she was wearing. Because she was wearing, because my roommate was asking me about that. She's like, she's kind of wearing like almost face paint, like weird face paint. Like she's got like a button nose and like rosy cheeks, but it's all pale, like makeup. And I was like, they're like, what is she dressed? I'm like, I have no idea. I want to say she's going for a marionette look, but I could be wrong. I have no idea. And Io was just like, I'm just having fun. I don't care. Yay!
If not Crow, then I think it's probably like closer to God, what was the character's name? I believe her name in the comic was Razor, who was like the female Crow.
Yeah.
So that could have been
also,
it.
But that'd be a deep cut.
The best highlight of that because it just made my heart like go da-dum, 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 da-dum. was the three-way stare down of the Joshis.
Oh
Io,
my god.
Julia,
Io,
and
Kyrie.
Asuka all together. I was like, and my roommate was like, aren't they all part of Stardom? I'm like, technically, it's Gen 0, Gen 1, and Gen 3. So yes, they are all affiliated with Stardom at some point. So I was like, like my soul it burns. No, I'm
Not to
like, now
mention-
if Kyrie were in the match, I'd be even more happy, but she wasn't in it. But it was still, yeah, I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of fun.
Not to mention, maybe it was just me just reviewing it, but like Charlotte Flair's outfit didn't it look a whole heck of a lot like Shawn Michaels' outfit almost?
I think that's what she was going for. Because I also know, I know Jordan had two separate outfits, and I know she wanted to wear the white one because she wore it, but they had her put it on SmackDown. I think it was because it was too close to Charlotte's, and I'm like, that's lame. But it was really cool. Like it was like white and sparkly. But yeah, she also Jordan Grace. If you follow her on Instagram, I think I sent you guys the clip, but she literally made a joke about them all looking like Power Rangers, and they reenacted the Power Ranger. It's morphin' time, all of them together with like 5 of them. I'm like, oh my god, that's genius. I was laughing so hard when I saw it. I'm like, yeah, they're aware, they know.
They know.
But no, I do for kind of like what they've been given. I was really happy with it. I just wish it was with a crowd that was more receptive to it, I guess. Does that make sense?
I mean, they did pop here and there, but they were relatively quiet in the grand scheme of things compared to the other matches and stuff.
Yeah, there were pops here and there, but otherwise they were quiet. They were almost quieter than a New Japan crowd.
Yeah, a New Japan crowd would basically just be like, oh, and then they do clap, 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 clap. Like that's basically like, yeah.
I've seen Japanese, well, at least older Japanese matches, and you look at the audience and wow, they're so quiet compared to us.
I know, it's so funny. It's so funny. Unless you go to a Japanese hardcore match, then they never shut up. They're like, like they're like so loud. But,
it's weird because like the Saudi crowd almost makes the New Japan crowd sound almost like an Australian crowd.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm like, it's unlike if you go to like a Lucha Libre crowd. Oh my god, they are rowdy. Like you're gonna be like
jumping off the walls.
If the person loses, they're gonna throw some popcorn at your ass. Like
they're borderline soccer hooligans out there.
They're like, no.
With the Joshi show, Asuka, Io, and Kairi, I was looking for him. You saw me, man. Like,
I was like, yeah.
And also Kyrie Sane, because I haven't seen her in a while. Like,
it's like really.
Yeah, Kyrie. I was like, oh my god, they're all Stardom. Oh my god. I was like freaking out, but I was like, you're all here.
I hated how they got eliminated so easy, so short. They weren't in there long. They all got eliminated so fast.
It kind of bummed me out. Like I really deep down like I wanted so badly, but it was like kind of like a shot in the dark of Julia winning. Would have been freaking awesome because Julia versus Stephanie Vaquer at WrestleMania, that is a WrestleMania match. But that's wishful thinking. Like it's kind of like whenever we make predictions of ladder matches, like who would I want to win or who do I think will win? It's always down to that. It's like who do I want to win? The referee. Who do I? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I will say the star, because every Royal Rumble match, there's always a person that is the spotlight. Not the winner, but the spotlight of the match. 100%, hands down, women's was Sol Ruka. She was the star of that match. She freaking killed it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I was so mad at how she got eliminated.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like I was literally like, oh my god, she's one of the final 3. What the hell?
Yeah.
And she technically eliminated herself.
I was like, damn. But to be honest with you, I was at a point where I literally said, okay, we're getting down to the final 10.
And I remember I was watching it with my roommate, and he's all like, "Okay, who do you think's going to win?" I said, "I'll tell you who I don't want to win: either of the Bellas or Charlotte. If they get eliminated, I'm cool with anybody else."
Same here.
It was literally like anybody else. But then the shock of the match, 100%, like for story wise, Liv Morgan eliminating Raquel. That's going to play a factor 100% in storyline, because cut to the following Raw, Raquel had a title opportunity in a Philly street fight, and it was, Raquel had a spot where she was basically done, and like she was a little groggy. Liv, even though she told Liv, "Don't come out. This is a one-on-one. I want to deal with this." Liv comes out, tries to help, but it ends up costing her the match. So I'm like, okay, all right, I see where this is going.
We also got some delicious homemade molasses cookies.
Three different kinds.
Yeah, name them real quick. One
is regular, one is cinnamon sugar, and one is a ginger cinnamon sugar.
There we go. So one thing we got is that Nikki Bella, she's been around for a while. She got to be in the Rumble. The only, I guess, surprise spot which got some pops, which I guess was that Brie Bella's back. So Brie Mo,
she was number 29. I was expecting someone that was actually worth giving a crap about, but she showed up.
Yeah. And that was the thing.
But both of them got eliminated by the nice Lash legend. Oh yeah!
I was like, "Yay, Lash! Thank you."
I said, "Thank you, thank you." He is a joke on the table. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah. But that was the bad thing, though. And the thing is, as the Rumble kept going and stuff, I was really hoping. The main reason we want to watch the Rumble, besides trying to get back into WWE a little, is I was really hoping AJ Lee would be there, because I really wanted to see her go up against the newer people like Lash Legend and Rhea Ripley and the people that weren't around when she was there. That would have been awesome.
Right.
But it just didn't go there.
But
they wanted Brie Bella instead.
I think it's partially because it's in Saudi Arabia. Knowing AJ, she probably was like, "No, I just morally I cannot be over there." I think that's just her, knowing her. Punk has to be there because he's obviously he went there because he's obviously the champion. He has to be there at some point. But it's like, because I think now with AJ having her contract a little more lenient, she's kind of like, okay, I'm gonna do more stuff. But I will say, I know for a fact, more than likely, AJ will be at Elimination Chamber because it's in Chicago. And they live in Chicago. It'd be dumb for her not to be in it. Which, speaking of, so the winner ended up being Liv Morgan for the Women's Royal Rumble, which I'm like, you know what? Good for Liv.
Yeah.
Good for her. She just came back. And I also pointed out to my roommate, I'm like, this officially technically makes her a Grand Slam champion. Technically. Because she's won the Crown Jewel title, the women's title, the tag title, and the Royal Rumble. So technically that does make her a Grand Slam champion. My WWE standards. I'm just saying in general, technically she's a Grand Slam champion. So I'm like, hell, it's still cool. I'm like, oh, good for you. But now,
she went a long way from. Sorry, Jeff.
No, I said now the question is, who is she going to challenge for the belt? Is she going to go after Jade, which maybe, or is she going to go after Stephanie, which is she's probably going to kick her ass. So let's be honest, Liv is going to have an uphill fight regardless of who she picks.
Oh yeah.
Now, one thing I want to say though is that Liv Morgan really went a long way when she first started out with the Riot Club or the Riot. Was it the Riot Club? Riot Squad.
Riot Squad.
Yeah. And the thing is, she barely did anything there. And I was even asking, did she even have a finisher or something? You know what I mean? So
back when she was considered Alexa Bliss Jr. Because
I think her finisher originally was, I think sad to say, Oblivion was her finisher that she created with the Judgment Day. I think her original finisher was a stalling DDT, which is like sad. But then I'm also like, all of them had crap finishers. All of the Riot Squad had crap finishers because Ruby Riot's finisher has always been bad. It was the friggin' eat defeat. I'm like, that's your finisher? Okay. And then like Sonya Deville's was just a roundhouse kick. And I'm like, that's it?
Wasn't it Sarah Logan or so?
Oh yeah, Sarah Logan was in it. Yeah, that was it. Hers was I want to say an underarm DDT, but I think it was like almost like a future shock, I think, but she never hit it. So it was like, what the fuck? It was a
The thing
weird.
is, it was like a triple tag match thing. I don't think Liv, rarely if ever, was the one to get the win. It was usually Ruby.
The saddest thing about Liv was she was such a I think she was like one of those women who's like she was loyal. So they kept her around, but they didn't know what to do with her because I remember they tried making her whole thing like they were doing a show as the Riot Squad, and she said talked about this, and and she was eating a lot of candy. She was eating a lot of like suckers, like blue raspberry suckers, and her tongue had turned blue, and they were supposed to go on TV, and like she did that kind of face, but she had the blue tongue. And apparently she was like, oh shit, I forgot I had all this candy. And then apparently Vince is like, I love it. That's going to be your new character. She's like, what's going to be my new character? He's like, you're going to be the girl that always eats candy. It's like, okay. Like, I'm like, that's not a character, Vince. That's just an act of the thing you can do.
Diabetes.
It's like, it's like, hey, I noticed you wear shoes. You're going to be Shoe Man. Like, what? I love looking at that stuff. And
is that how Evil got stuck as blue pants? Hey, you wear blue pants.
Yes, every time I think of the dumb, every time I think of the horrible, stupid booking decisions, I always just hear a WWE mark like, oh my god, Vince was such a better booker than Chamber Legends. I'm like, nope. I'm like, I mean, I really say this to someone. Hunter may be a okay booker, not bad. He's just an average booker, but his booking has never been so bad at it that it literally created his competition. Like AEW literally was created because WWE was so terrible. Like realistically, if you think about that, it really was. If you look at the history of it, AEW was formed because WWE was so terrible. It was. It's just funny to me. I just always find that funny. I'm like, yeah, no. Like, no. Anyway, but yeah, I'm happy Liv won. I was actually thinking Jordan Grace was going to win, to be honest. I was originally thinking they were going to, because there seemed to be booking this whole Jordan versus Jade feud. I thought they were going to lean into that. I also thought they were going to have Bianca Belair return. I think that's the biggest shock. Everyone expected her to come back.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess maybe she's still sidelined because she had that ligament surgery on her finger. Like, I'm like, damn. Takes you a long time to recover from a hand surgery, I get. But I'm like, damn. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, I forgot something else too. Like the fact that Lash also eliminated Charlotte. I was cheering for that too. It's like it was those two, and then Charlotte kind of sort of like, yes, tears flowing, I'm jumping. Because like I said, I didn't want the Bellas to win, and I didn't want Charlotte to win. And I'm pretty sure many of us probably felt the same way.
Yeah.
But I will say this though, she did last the longest in the Rumble after Charlotte.
Yeah.
That's true. I was surprised. Like Lash lasted a long time, and Lash lasted a long time. A lot of the girls did. I was really surprised. But like I said, Soul to me was like she was like the real like Iron Woman, like the real highlight of that whole match. Like she really elevated herself, and I think they're going to push her towards the main roster very soon.
Yeah, that's what I put in. That's what I'd written in my notes. That like she was really cool. I really liked her, and I just hated how she was eliminated. So for me, for the women's rumble, I mean, y'all give y'all opinions as well. The highlight for me was Sol Ruka, in the match, and I got to see it. I'm not really familiar with her, so I like seeing, someone I know so well compared to like the others. So I really enjoyed that. I do like the fact that WWE in general now, how they are able to do the women Royal Rumble, whereas in the past they had to keep filling up the card with like old retired wrestlers to come back. Like, oh, we have Beth Phoenix coming in, or
We got
oh,
Trish
we got Trish Stratus, oh, we got Mickey James,
and
something like that.
Vita.
Yeah, or leader or something like that. But now the fact they do have enough talent to have their own Rumble, so I will give them that.
Yeah, that was cool.
I still am iffy with the whole them having to do stuff in Saudi Arabia because I feel sorry for them because I'm just thinking from my perspective, it has to be hot over there. And doing all of that wearing full bodysuits, that can't be comfortable.
Yeah. Or, I mean, well, that's the problem is because it's out in the desert, it's either freezing or blistering hot. Like there's no in between.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess you're right. We just don't know. But I'm just thinking about how I am. So I know for a fact I will be burning up. I mean, I'm hot right now, and it's like 20 degrees outside. So
Yeah, I think the only female wrestler that's probably used to that as far as her attire would be Nia Jax, because that's the same attire she wears while she's in the States.
Yeah, she basically was just like, oh, okay. I did also hear rumor, I don't know if that's true or not, that they forced all of the women to buy their own outfits, but I think that's actually, I don't know if that's actually true or not. I don't think that's necessarily true, because I'm like, if they're supposed to be on a show, I'm pretty sure the people provide those for them.
Yeah.
they provided it for them. That's why we got to pay like $5,000 for a seat in the nosebleed section just to see a match.
Oh God, don't even get me started. That's the other issue. The stadium, the goddamn stadium controversy of, first of all, that stadium was built in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit how much you paid me. I would never go to a stadium that was built in 2 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
that, I wouldn't even trust a carnival that was built in 2 weeks.
Nope. Nuh-uh.
So the only thing I'm gonna say is that, like I said, I was expecting or hoping AJ to be part of Rumble. That didn't happen.
Mhm.
And then the other person we were kind of hoping, I'm not sure if it's the same one that Jack had in mind. I was thinking that maybe Paige would have surprised us by coming back, because there have been videos shortly before that showed Paige like going in the ring, like training. She's training with Viperous and doing her, trying to get the ring rust off and stuff. So I thought that she would have been probably a surprise person or the last person or whatever. But instead, he went with Brie Bella and everything. I mean, Nikki, not too surprised. I've heard around the interwebs that Nikki's been making appearances here and there, so it wasn't that big of a surprise. But the big pop was Brie Bella being in there.
Yeah.
You mean you're not happy for pre-mode?
No.
Yeah.
Oh God, that horrible auto-tune thing
It's
here.
the worst fucking theme song ever.
Mm,
I hate everything associated with her and her sister,
mm,
including their husbands.
no.
Like the greatest thing you ever did was marry Bryan Danielson, and even that's a downgrade.
No.
Somewhere out there, Dolph Ziggler still should have been me.
It should have been me. No.
Okay. So anyway, quick thoughts, guys. Or Johnny hasn't really said too much. Or your thoughts on
The women's rumble, yeah.
Oh, I don't really have too much to say because I don't really remember too much about the match, and I don't know half of the wrestlers because I don't really watch WWE, so I don't really know much what's going on recently with WWE. But the only person I recognized was just Charlotte Flair, and even I could barely recognize. Like, she's barely unrecognizable. Like, she just, I don't know, man. I think she had too much work done in her face because it doesn't even look like her anymore.
I mean, well, let's be real. Between the nose job, the cheekbones, the filler, the Botox, she's got more attachments on her face than a Hoover vacuum cleaner at this point. I mean, I didn't even realize it. Like, it literally took me their name coming up on the placard on the bottom of the screen for me to realize that was Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too. Like,
same,
it's like,
same.
oh, that's Charlotte Flair. Oh, okay. Like, I didn't know it was her.
Yeah,
And
so I'm
especially
sure
since you guys said that they were wearing like the full bodysuit, well, it's even, you're gonna recognize them even less.
Yeah, but Johnny, I would assume you still recognize at least like the Bella twins and Asuka and
Morgan.
Alexa Bliss and all that.
Morgan, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I knew the better
Ripley.
twins or whatever, but yeah, other than that, I mean, I didn't really remember too much about the match either.
Hmm.
Now, one-
You guys already, I'm not sure if you guys already said your overall thoughts on that or.
I didn't get a chance to say anything just yet. My thoughts on it, the Rumble was actually pretty good. And I'm going to say this about both of the Rumbles, both the men and women's Rumbles. They both put in decent effort with even the regular stars that are on the Raw and SmackDown rosters. But it seems like they put a little bit more spotlight on some of the NXT roster, which is what I'm happy about, because it used to be, NXT, oh, you guys are newer guys, we're going to check you out in a couple of seconds. Sol Ruka is the Iron Woman of that match. She was in there for a full 50 minutes, 42 seconds, which I almost thought she was going to win the thing. I really did. I thought it was going to come down to her and Liv, which would have been awesome.
For her. I started rooting for her.
Yeah, like she was complete underdog, but like for her to have stayed in there as long as she did, and still, even after 50 minutes of wear and tear, still managed to pull off like consecutive soul snatchers, that was just ridiculous. And it's really showing that they're trying to spotlight some of the newer talent while still keeping up with the standard plot line of the regular characters going through. So I did enjoy that. That was actually a really good Royal Rumble match.
I agree.